Greetings, Legionnaires, and welcome to the Wrestling Legion Weekly podcast with me, Nick the Geek. And this week I'm joined by some fantastic friends, some fantastic minds, some fantastic people. I'm joined, as always, by Andy. How are you, sir? How are you feeling?
All good. I am absolutely buzzing because of a certain... Oh, no, that way.
Yeah. Of course, we are joined by the Joey Styles to my Tony Schiavone. We are joined by Sai. Sai, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fantastic, mate. Just to echo what Andy said, it's great to have. Is it that way or that way?
Yeah, you had it right the first time.
Yeah, that way. Everything's opposite on here. Yeah, it's great to have Jimmy back joining us this week.
And he needs no introduction. He is the king of the internet. He is the drip king of life.
There we go.
He is Jimmy Baby.
I knew.
Jim, it's great to see you. How the hell are you doing?
I am fantastic. I am buzzing right now because the boys are back in town, baby. And it couldn't have come at a better time because we are literally less than 2 weeks away from Mania, where we all get to do this.
Yeah.
In person, baby. It's going to be sweet. So thank you guys for having me. Much appreciated.
No, you're more than welcome. Right, we've got quite a lot to talk about this week, boys. Quite a lot, because I thought, you know what? Jimmy's on the show. We should stack it heavy, see what we can get. Yeah. So we're going to start off with an event. Now, I'm not sure if you're going, Jim, but the three of us are lucky enough to be going to Supercard of Honor the Friday before WrestleMania. It is shaping up to be actually one hell of a card. The Reach for the Sky ladder match, Joe versus Mark Briscoe, where I think we can all admit Mark Briscoe is going to win because he's never beaten Samoa Joe. So kind of the fact that they're advertising that to me says that Mark's going to be the new TV champion. There's a possibility of Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson. Wheeler Yuta just challenged Katsuyori Shibata for the Pure Championship. So what are we all thinking? Andy, are you excited for this show? Is there anything you want to see in particular?
There is, and there's something that I believe we may see as well. So I know you know about this. We were discussing this the other day, isn't it? Okay. I believe we're going to see a certain Mr. Punk, Harry. I do. I think, you've got, there's a bit of thing here. I think Tony, if he was going to get rid of him, would have got rid of him by now.
Yes.
I feel like you don't just let him sit there and roll his contract out if you can actually utilise him. Punk's got a really soft spot for Ring of Honor because of his back catalogue and everything else, because he doesn't have access to his WWE one. So, if you're Tony Khan, you want him to push your new product, get him over there. For that reason, you keep him away from the elite and you appease Punk all in the same way.
Very, very good point.
One small issue with this, and that is Colt Cabana is on the Ring of Honor roster.
Yeah, but you just move him. That's quite easy.
Yeah, put him back over on
the whole problem in the first place.
Just put him back at AEW, so.
Yeah, because let's face it, them contracts don't mean nothing either side, because you can just flip them over, can't you?
It's just it's the same company, really. Yeah. Si, what are you looking forward to with this show? Is there anything? In fact, I'll flip it. What are you not looking forward to at Ring Supercard of
Honor? The possibility of maybe having to leave before the main event finishes so we can get to spring break on time.
Yeah, that's gonna suck.
I think that's the only negative. I mean, you guys know me. I was like that with the new Ring of Honor. I didn't want it to be WWE's like ECW. But the shows have got better. The first three shows have been better each week. The stories are great. The big matches we've got announced are great. I'm looking forward to everything.
Excited to meet you too, Amanda.
Yeah, and just to be fair, Nick's on the trip as well, Amanda, so it's all good.
Right. I'm sick and tired of this. Right, just because... No. Right, no, take control back of the show. I've had enough of this, right? I'm not talking to you two anymore. Jimmy, right, Supercard of Honor. I don't know if you're going. I don't know if you're following the new Ring of Honor TV. What do you think?
I'm following it as of now. I'm seeing if something's going to catch my attention. He just brought up Punk going, so I just pulled up a link to see about tickets and see what they are and if there's any available, because I'm not going to miss CM Punk. But I don't know if I'm going to be going. But I would like to see Mark Briscoe and Samoa Joe main event and have the closing moments of that show be Mark Briscoe winning the TV title, being Samoa Joe for the first time, being just a really glorious event and a great way to end the show. I think that's what I would want to see.
Yeah.
Man, Punk would be cool though.
Yeah,
Punk
dude.
would be cool.
Like Andy, when you first mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, Andy, I was like, nah.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's just a working theory I've got in my head is if you're sitting there on a big contract, he's back working again, he's fit again. It's like, what do you do with him? How do you fit to make this all fit?
And
That's
the
very
one
true.
feud that Punk has been dying to like get his hands on again since, you know, it happened early on in his career. He's wanted a Samoa Joe feud again. Like he really wanted it. He was so mad to sign Samoa Joe after he left. So it would be cool.
It would be very cool.
That'd be magic, but
I
mean, is Punk going to come back and face Joe and then get injured again in his first match?
No.
Don't.
The stage dives are gone. They're done. We're not doing those no more. We're not going to do those suicide dives anymore either. Stop diving, Punk.
Yeah.
Don't dive and you're okay.
You're in your 40s. You don't need to be doing dives anymore.
No.
Right. But I think we're all excited for the show. I can't wait to go. It's going to be amazing. Sticking with AEW side of things, there has been a match announced for next week's Dynamite that I am so freaking excited for because I've been wanting to see these two wrestle for about 3 years. I'm talking about, of course, Kenny Omega versus El Hijo del Vikingo. Now, the first thing I want to say is, Conan, you should have done this 2 years ago. It's your own fault now. Tony Khan has stolen your idea. But this match has the potential to be TV match of the year, and we're only in March. Vikingo is probably the best luchador going right now. The stuff he's physically capable of doing in the ring is insane. However, Simon, I'm going to go to you first because I was talking to our good friend on the mat the other day, and he tells me that with the first thing you said when this match was mentioned is, but where's the story?
Yeah, that's right. I may be one of the millions of people on Twitter who've taken this stance. Honestly, no. I mean, that was mainly to wind up our good friend on the mat. I am looking forward to seeing this match as much as any other wrestling fan. But it has to be said, a little bit of story sprinkled on top would have made it even better.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because technically the story is Kenny has ducked Vikingo for 2 years.
Okay.
He wouldn't face him when he was AAA champion. He outright refused to wrestle him. There was actual visa reasons, I think was the reason he couldn't do it. But in the storyline, they had him refuse to wrestle Vikingo. So if Tony Khan, who does like to dip into other people's back pockets, wants to go in there, they do have a story to go. Andy, are you excited for this match? Are you looking forward to seeing Kenny wrestle a different style?
Yes, I am, and I do like Vikingo as well. I think he's really, really good. I like his style. I think it's fast-paced, and sometimes with Kenny Omega, some of my thing with him is it's very choreographed, and sometimes, I don't know whether I'd say slow-mo or smooth, but it's just a bit like medium-paced. Yeah, where I feel like this one, he won't be able to do that.
Okay. Jim? I don't know I don't know if you are familiar with Vikingo, but I know you're familiar with Kenny.
I've seen enough of Vikingo to know that the dude is absolutely nuts. And I think that this match was supposed to happen in AAA like last year or 2 years ago. I think Conan tried to have this match with Tony and Kenny got injured or whatever, and it just didn't happen. I look at this match like I look at kind of how I view all of AEW television right now. And I don't mean this as a knock on AEW's programming. So nobody get mad at what I'm about to say as far as AEW fans go. I kind of just tune out the story aspect of things and just appreciate AEW for the talent that it is. Like
the
these guys do absolutely nuts. The stuff they do is absolutely nuts. And if you just again, tune out the rest of it and just watch what they're physically capable of doing. It's an amazing time. Kenny Omega and Vikingo is going to be an amazing time. If I'm going to gripe about anything, it's that we literally just started a major storyline with Kenny Omega last week, and now we're going to go a week later and just insert a dream match that has nothing attached to it for the casual viewers who tune in every week.
Well,
that's my issue.
It's funny you should mention that because Tony Khan, I'll pull it up on my phone. Give me 1 second. Tony Khan tweeted about this.
He really tried to sell it hard on Twitter.
Yeah, he
He
did.
spent like an hour, quote tweeting everyone.
It's ridiculous. But I'll just pull it up. Where is it?
Funny you should say
I
that.
believe Blind Man has to go
not
this
true.
close to his phone. This match was scheduled in 2021. It was highly anticipated due to Kenny's injuries. It was postponed. Now Kenny is back, and the match is Wednesday on Dynamite. Those who watch this show regularly also know that Kenny is involved in a major unfolding weekly story that you should keep an eye on.
Yeah. So the fact that he went out of his way to do that, like he's promoting the show, and I know a lot of people hate on him when he does that kind of stuff, but he's promoting the show. He's doing what he can. I'm not going to knock him for it. I think he goes a little too far sometimes, but it's his thing. He does what he wants. But again, I'm not going to hate it. I'm going to enjoy it. And then if something comes out and it makes sense of all of it, then I didn't get upset for no reason, and I'm happy. And that's how I view AEW from now on.
That's good. I was excited 2 years ago, more excited now. Vikingo and Kenny should tear it down. Yes, David, they should. I think it'll be absolutely awesome. Quite frankly, I haven't looked forward to a match on AEW television this much in about 2 years. So I'm really looking forward to it. But moving on, but sticking with the AEW side of things, Jim, because you mentioned the storylines that you kind of tune out to. I know for a fact that there is one storyline you're not tuning out to right now, and that is the one they started last week on Dynamite involving the four pillars, MJF, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Jungle Boy, are finally all being pushed in the main event scene. What's your thoughts?
Thank you. I'm over the moon with this. Like, when MJF came out and he was doing his little bar mitzvah spiel, and then Jungle Boy's music hit. I mean, I know what they're doing. I knew exactly what it was as soon as the music hit.
Yeah.
I like that they didn't even let Jungle Boy say anything, and then Sammy comes out. Sammy gets like 2 words in, and then Darby comes out. I like that they all ripped into Max. I feel like Max didn't slaughter them like a lot of people thought he would. I think Darby's the one that came out of that looking actually the best. That's me. I'm a little bit biased towards Darby, but that is what it is. I'm so happy that they're finally going to. I hope it's a pay-per-view main event too.
So do I.
Because I've been pushing for them to do a pay-per-view main event with their originals instead of focusing on the guys they've brought in to help, get attention. Well, now the attention's there. You got all the attention that you're going to get at this point. Let's go ahead and see if these guys that are your pillars can draw the same. I want to see it. You have to do it. And I'm glad they're finally doing it. I'm glad they're doing it the way they're doing it because it's going to be amazing. And I'm secretly hoping Darby Allin gets his moment. I know it's not going to happen, but I'm secretly hoping that happens.
Nice. Well, that eagerly good segues into my next point. Andy, who do you want to win?
I think it's got to be MJF. I don't think he needs to lose the title just now. But if I was going to have anybody win, apart from that, it'd be Darby Allin.
Yeah. I completely agree.
But who I want to win and who I think will win are two different things.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same with you. I think MJF's probably going to win. But
yeah, I think if you rephrase that question is, we're 2 years down the line and this match happens, who do you want to win? Darby Allin, 100%.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, Si, I compare MJF to Ric Flair and I compare Darby Allin to Sting. I think these two are destined to do the dance for years to come and go down as each other's nemesis, if you will, in the wrestling industry. As you've got more experience with old school wrestling than any of us, just simply because you've been watching it longer than we have. If you had to say one thing about this that could be changed to improve it, based it on whatever you like, what would it be? Because it's pretty perfect right now. But
you know what? You're throwing me a curveball here and trying to, get me to say something negative about AEW, which normally I would just pounce on. But I'll be honest, I think you've got two faces, you've got two heels, you've got a lot of rivalries over the last 4 years between them. I think it's going to be a great match. And the weird thing is, MJF isn't huge. He's maybe around Bret Hart size, but against these three guys, he's going to look like a beast. And I think it's going to be great. Honestly, I haven't got anything negative to say about that one. Sorry, dude.
I'm genuinely gutted, Simon. You've let me down. I was waiting for negative views.
How about this? So you were comparing MJF to Flair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've got like Darby and Sting. Jungle Boy did have Christian. We just need a fourth person, and you could have like a pro in each corner and make it like the WrestleMania 2000 match with a McMahon in each corner. There you go.
I think you're gonna have a hard time getting Christian in Jungle Boy's corner.
Yeah, at the moment
you just buried him, bro.
Yeah.
I physically buried him too. Right, but moving on from there, it's going to be a great angle. I can't wait to see it unfold further, and it's just going to be fantastic. But sticking with AEW, certain tag teams contracts, I believe, are coming up in April. They're my favorite tag team. I know they are many people's favorite tag team. They are definitely Jimmy's favorite tag team. Now, FTR Dax, I believe I should have it on my phone.
I have the tweet here if you want to see it.
There we go. Please go for it.
So Dax tweeted a couple of hours ago. He just got off the phone with Cash. We've decided what we're going to do come April. Nothing is official yet, so legally can't speak on it. But in the next couple of weeks, we'll let all of our fans know. We owe it to you all for the opportunities we have in front of us. Love you all.
Right, now to me, if you don't mind me going first, boys, they're going back to WWE. That's what that tweet sounds like to me, because Tony is basically giving the Ass Boys the tag titles to put them onto FTR to try and keep Dax and Cash in the company. And I don't think it's worked, because if they were just staying with AEW, I wouldn't see the need for Dax to make that tweet.
Here's the thing, though. If you want FTR to be heel, okay, surely this is what you do to make the AEW fan base think that they want to be in WWE. That's going to get them booed, isn't it? Is it like a long kind of work?
Yeah, but they're running against the Ass Boys, dude. They're not trying to get them booed.
Well, after the fact, though, because if you look back at also that picture that Dax teased where he had the WWE contract in the very corner, kind of like, oh, yeah, WWE. If the goal is to get FTR the tag titles, and this is what I think is the goal, is to get the FTR the tag titles and then run FTR Bucks 3 so that the Bucks can take the titles off of FTR, win this trilogy, and then FTR goes about their business. That's what I think is the end game here. But after hearing that tweet, it kind of makes me rethink things, because if they were going to go to WWE, I don't think they would say we're going to announce it in a few weeks. I think that would be just a kind of like they just show up. The fact that they're going to announce what it is, I think they might be staying in AEW just for the freedom aspect of things. So it made things a little bit more interesting for me.
Could it also be that this is just literally the tweet and the whole attitude is trying to get a little bit more leverage in the contract renegotiations to up their price a little bit?
Entirely possible.
Wouldn't blame
I mean, that's smart business.
It could be, but at the end of the day, they've turned around and stated that for legal reasons, so they're insinuating they've already signed something. But the only problem I've got with that, lads, is if that was the case and they'd signed with WWE, surely that would then give AEW the right to sue WWE for tampering with someone who's still under contract.
But
possibly, yeah.
I've gotten to a few run-ins with a lawyer about these contract tampering situations, and apparently that's not tampering. If you're just looking into your next, I'm assuming they haven't signed anything. I assume they've just made the decision. But for them to actively be looking for their next job, that's not tampering. It'd be tampering if WWE was just hassling them, or if they offered them. I don't know. The way it was worded though is that it's not tampering if you're.
Is there like a period though as well in a contract where, you know, obviously, if that was me, I'd be saying, well, I'd want to be speaking to interested parties 3 or 4 months before my contract ran out.
It might be the same with when we get the 90-day non-compete or the 30-day non-compete, they're still technically employed by WWE in those instances, but they're allowed to seek employment. So with FTR being in the end of their contract, that might be what it is. I'm not sure.
On the extension as well.
The other thing that might be there as well is with Cody being in WWE now, and you know Cody's probably the same as them, where he's an old school mark, isn't he? And if he's going to be the champion and the way they're going to be running the shows from Cody's perspective, I think on both sides it would be a good move for WWE to get a really old school type tag team that'll complement the champion in the way that they run their matches. And then also from FTR, as they know the champion who's spearheading the company could be the one that is, they can go in and do their stuff pretty similar in the tag team division.
David just brought up a really good point in the chat with if Triple H reaches out to them, it would be tampering. If FTR reaches out to them, that's seeking job employment. So it wouldn't be tampering at that point. Also, an interesting tidbit with the WWE aspect is that Dax on his podcast was talking about how a dream match he has was with Edge and Christian. And that match out of all of the dream matches he had was the one that's most likely to happen in the near future. So if Christian is done, like this rumor is, and Edge is still there until August, whatever, That's another thing that just throws a whole it makes things very interesting. I like what FTR is doing here.
Yeah,
I like what they're doing. It's interesting.
Well, Dax has always been very good at playing the audience. Like he's a very good puppet master and understands the game very well. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for anyone that still manages to do that in 2023 when all information is so easily accessible. But I just want the best for FTR. Wherever they go, whatever's suited best for them in their opinions and their families is what everybody should support. It doesn't matter whether you're an AEW fan, a WWE fan. Realistically, you should just be a wrestling fan and be happy for everybody that gets to work a job and work in this crazy business.
And at the end of the day, we've seen them in both companies already. So
exactly.
You got to think they got a sour taste in their mouth for that WWE.
Yeah, sorry, David's just made a good point here as well. Edge's contract is up in the summer, so it could be an AEW direction too.
It's a very good point. Yeah, it is. Right, but sticking with AEW, because a lot happened in AEW this week. My favorite female professional wrestler showed up in AEW this week.
Mako Satomura.
Heidi just popped right there.
That's it.
That's it. I'm going. See you later, guys.
That's it. Mute.
It was nice seeing you, Sai.
All right, no, it's done. It's mute. That's it. It's done. We're not even going to go over there. He's in the naughty corner for the next 3 minutes. Taya Valkyrie has debuted for AEW. And I have one simple question for you, boys. I'm going to go to you first with this, Andy. Should she beat Jade?
Yes. I think Jade, with that, the title was good for Jade at the start, where I think the title's becoming a burden to her now. It's stopping her from having any real good matches with the top end of the card because, she should be in the title picture now.
Yeah.
The only problem you've got is do you have Jade? It wasn't who said it. One of you guys said she should have won it on a 50th match. She should have won the AEW World title. Yeah, and that was the total right one. So it's kind of how'd you get it there? Now you could potentially do an X Division type thing where she cashes in the TBS for the title shot,
like an option C job.
Yeah.
All right, Sai. I know you are a massive fan of Jade Cargill. You are a big proponent of her. You think she's? I'm a big fan of Jade. I think she is a superstar waiting to happen.
Second best entrance in AEW.
No. Who's the first? Out of curiosity.
FTR. Yes.
Baby.
Sorry, what were you going to ask me?
I was going to ask you, what if you were a betting man? Who would you put your odds on, Taya or Jade?
Here's the thing. Okay, there's a lot of talk about who's going to beat Roman. A lot of names been thrown around. I actually saw somebody on Twitter the other day saying that it shouldn't be Cody because he's too old. It should be a young up and comer. think of that what you will. Unfollow.
It wasn't me.
but on that note, Taya Valkyrie, as good as she is 39 years old. And I think perhaps that isn't the best person to pass the belt to. I'm still convinced it's going to be Mercedes that comes in through the summer and beats Jade. So, yeah, I'm going to bet on Jade.
Okay. Jimmy, again, I know you are a big fan of Jade. I've been on many a show with you where you have told the world she is money walking. Should Taya beat her? Should Jade keep that thing?
Taya shouldn't beat her. And the reason being is just, I think when Jade loses that belt, it should be something that's kind of built up almost like Roman's is right now. Not to the extent of Roman's. It's not that big of a deal. But I think it should be treated as a big deal so that when Jade does lose, she doesn't lose all her momentum. That way it gives her kind of a story to go after she lost it. Like it's something that can continue. I think just having her lose it to someone who shows up and is as big and bad as she is, I think it just kind of dampens the run. I'm not mad if she loses it because I feel like it would allow her to go on to bigger and better things. I think the TBS title is kind of holding her back at this point because I want to see her in there with the bigger names because she should be. She's not as talented as they are in the ring, but she has way more star presence than everybody else in AEW. Like men, women, I don't care. She has the star presence that no one else in that company has.
This is true.
And she's just not getting treated that way. So if Taya beating her allows that to happen, fine, go ahead and do it. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Jade needs to be built up a little bit before she loses.
Well, I'm of the opinion that even though I've just said Taya's my favorite female wrestler, I love the way she works. I love the way she moves. I love the way she talks. La Guerrera Loca is fantastic at everything she does. However, Britt Baker should be the one to beat Jade Cargill.
Oh.
Which drives Jade to join the Outcasts. Woo!
That would actually work. But no, I just think it should be Britt because Britt is the homegrown girl. She's Tony's girl. She's the one that stands above all. And Jade is really the only one who's held up on the similar level to Britt in the fans' eyes because of her unbeaten status. But anyway, moving on to still sticking with AEW because I just thought of something else to talk about. Last part, because there's a lot to talk about in this. And I'm going to go to you first, Jimmy, because the time is fast approaching. It's been announced. We have a date. Adam Cole is coming back.
Go. About damn time, man. I'm curious what they're doing with him. I honestly I don't know. It seems weird for him to come out there and be playing to the crowd because that's not the Adam Cole I know. It just isn't. I'm just curious. They've not given me enough to really, I guess, get excited that he's back yet. Once the match that he gets happens and it's announced and all that, I'll get a little bit more excited. But just showing up being like, I'm here to go to the top and do the generic babyface nonsense. It's like, that's not you, baby. Don't do that. I'm excited that he's back, but I'm just not. I'm not excited that he's doing what he's doing right now. If that makes any sense.
No, it does.
You're glad to see him, but you're not interested.
Yes. Yeah.
Just yet.
Yeah. Okay. Andy, you're a fan of Adam Cole. We're all fans of Adam Cole here. He's a tremendous worker. I've called him the modern day Shawn Michaels before. Yeah. Who, if anybody in that company, do you think he should feud with for his return?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I'd probably say Guevara or Jericho. And hear me out for this is because of the fact that he's had all the concussions, he'd either need someone like a Guevara who could bounce around for him everywhere or somebody like Jericho who could look after him.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Safe pair of hands.
Yeah. So, probably not the best from a storyline perspective, but from my own personal thing, because I want him to be looked after, that's where it's coming from.
Keep him away from the society, please.
I don't want him anywhere near Jay.
As I say, Jimmy, from a storyline perspective, they're probably not good picks, but from let's ease him back in.
Oh, Jim, I've got a question for you. I've already asked these two boys in the past. Outside of Orange Cassidy, is there anybody that has had a feud with Chris Jericho in AEW that has come out of it in a better position than they went in?
No.
Action Andretti.
No. What's Action Andretti doing now? He was famous for a week, and then it was just like, fireball, bye-bye. Mm-hmm. I don't even think Orange Cassidy came out better because what did he do after this Jericho feud? Sure, he won, but what did he do afterwards? He kind of was just floundering forever. Nobody has been better after Jericho. The only person that comes close is MJF, and that was because MJF is just so damn good and with his mic work that he was able to just bring himself back from the dead. Nobody has been better off after Jericho. Sorry, Chris, I love you.
Apart from Jericho.
Whether or not any of us agree with the whole, it's kind of like general consensus, isn't it? That Jericho isn't elevating anybody, he isn't putting anybody over. But whether any of you guys agree with that or not, can we all agree that Jeff Jarrett is like the exact opposite? Because all he's doing is putting champion after champion after champion over. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ain't he great, baby?
Yes,
he great.
He is great. I absolutely adore Jeff Jarrett. He's one of the best wrestlers that's ever lived. I don't care what anyone says. Best punch in the history of professional wrestling. And if Mick Foley says it, you know it's true.
Yeah, and best figure four.
Hell of a dropkick too. Yeah.
He does have a hell of a dropkick. Not quite as good as Randy Orton's, but still a hell of a dropkick. Right, but we are done with AEW, boys. Finally. We are finished with it.
Can I ask a question before you move on?
Yes.
Would you be opposed if Adam Cole is going to be a babyface? Would you be opposed to him feuding with the Blackpool Combat Club?
No, I would not.
Yeah, I will be because the Blackpool Combat Club shouldn't even be a thing anymore.
Okay.
Well, the Blackpool did leave the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
They should just be the Combat Club.
Agreed.
I think it's a feud. I think it's a group he could feud with and actually come out better on the other end, whether he wins or loses.
They could even use the angle that he has to be careful when he wrestles them because they're so aggressive and violent.
And Moxley's like an animal that will just maul.
apart.
So
he's
come out better than the Jericho Appreciation.
Yeah, he still needs to stay away from Moxley, though. Moxley's an idiot.
Moxley's great.
How about just sending a face Adam Cole after MJF, after Double or Nothing? No,
you see, I
No.
was talking to my brother about this the other week. MJF, Cole should be the one to beat MJF down the line.
Or Miro.
But Miro would... Look, dude, it's never going to happen.
We're
we all
never
love
gonna see
Miro.
wrestle another match.
That war horn is never going to sound. He's just going to sit out of his contract and then go back to WWE because he was like, why did I sign with this company?
How long has he got on his contract? Because that's always what interests me, Miro. I can never find out. I've looked a couple of times.
Didn't he sign for 3 years? Or
Miro.
He re-signed, though. So I don't know what his re-sign was.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
But he said he'd be done, so...
Yeah, him and Andrade are sitting there playing computer games.
Yeah. Right. But moving on, guys, to the other side of the fence. Moving on to a bit of WWE news. Well, not news. More like the most over storyline.
Sorry, just before we move on to WWE, can we talk about GCW just for a second on the mat?
Yes, we can. Because at GCW's most recent show, of which the name I have totally forgotten. Sorry, Matt, you're going to kill me for that. He keeps me informed. Masha Slamovich beat Nick Gage and has become the new GCW World Heavyweight Champion, making her the first female GCW World Heavyweight Champion. Yeah. And I'm so happy for Masha. All the power in the world to her. She's a tremendous, tremendous professional wrestler. She's really over with the crowd. And to beat effectively the messiah of GCW is really something. And
it was called Eye for an Eye, the show.
Thank you.
I thought it was really, really good, and also the way she won as well. So I don't know if you've seen the match yet, but she won with a rear naked choke, which I just thought was really clever and also very believable. And
sorry, dude, it looks like she's going to be a fighting champion as well, because I think she's fighting Speedball tonight, is it?
She's fighting Speedball Mike Bailey, and she's feuding with Blake Christian, and she's also been challenged by Matt Cardona.
Right, so and the fact that it's the matches that she had with Nick Gage and whatnot is, it's believable. I suppose is probably my big thing from it. Is you see sometimes when they get women involved in the men's side of things, like even China, no disrespect to China, but even her back in the day, I never believed for 1 second that she could actually do what she was doing outside of the ring. Where watching this, that's why, to be honest, I seek this match out on purpose because I wanted to see how it gel together, and all the way through the match, I believed everything she was doing she could actually do, even if it wasn't a work, and that for me was very interesting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about Masha. Masha's very credible. It doesn't matter who she wrestles; she comes across as very credible. She's a very capable worker inside the ropes, and she knows how to tell a story, which for someone of her age is, quite frankly, remarkable for an in-ring storytelling. Jimmy, I don't know if you follow GCW as closely as the rest of us.
Nah, I tune in when I can. It has to be a match that catches my eye, mostly Effie. I love Effie, big Effie fan. So if it's not something that catches my eye, I won't tune in just because of time limitations. But when I do tune in, there are some things that I do enjoy. Like I do enjoy some of their stuff. I just don't like the over-the-top death match stuff. That's when I...
Well, I'm really looking forward to Spring Break because Kota Ibushi will be wrestling for GCW at Spring Break this year. The Motor City Machine Guns will be defending the World Tag Team Championships against Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver. The East Coast Express, which should be a tremendous match. And now Masha Slamovich, who oddly is a Russian champion in the Ukrainian Cultural Center, which I never thought I'd see. Just to break
let's not go there.
Let's not go there. But Masha, I'm assuming, will be wrestling Matt Cardona at Spring Break because it's the biggest match they can promote. I'm really looking forward to the event. Jimmy, are you joining us for Spring Break?
I'm not doing a Spring Break because I am doing Effie's Big Gay Brunch.
All right. Have you seen there's only 2 matches that have been announced for GCW so far.
No.
So we've got the Motor City Machine Guns versus the East West Express, and then we've also got Mike Bailey versus Vikingo.
Yes. Oh, that's going to be good. See, I thought they were going to have Kota Ibushi versus Vikingo, but I'm actually happier with Mike Bailey versus Vikingo because that means we get 3 epic matches at Spring Break as opposed to 2.
Yeah, I love me a little bit of Speedball.
Speedball Mike Bailey is probably Canada's greatest modern export.
Yeah, and as I say, Jim, I'm the same as you. In like, I dip my toe in and dip my toe out because of time constraints. But the fact that like Vikingo and Mike Bailey, the fact that I know them shows that they're good to me because they stand out. You know.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Well, I compare GCW to ECW, but the modern version of it. It's the little company that can go. It's the land of the misfit toys, where you have half the roster that are going to go on to be big stars in the big companies, and the other half of the roster are guys that the big companies would never look at, but are still very entertaining.
It's ECW 2023.
Yeah, it's the evolved version of ACW.
Yeah. Exactly what it is. But that's everything there is to say about GCW this week. I'm afraid there was.
Sorry to butt in there. I just thought it was really relevant.
No, it was absolutely relevant. Thank you.
I'm so happy to see Andy like talking about like GCW and stuff because this is not something I ever thought I'd see him doing. It's great. It's great.
It's awesome. We've turned him. But onto the WWE side of the coin. They're back. So, as everybody knows, I watch SmackDown every single week. Check out my reviews. This week, it will be, from now on, my reviews will be on Saturday afternoons because I am getting old and need sleep occasionally. But this week on SmackDown, finally reunited Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They're back together to take down the Bloodline. They're probably going to win the tag team titles at WrestleMania. Simon, why were you shaking your head?
Not for the reason you think I was. Okay, so originally for months, I was saying if they give Sammy and Kevin the tag belts at Mania, it reminds me of when Kevin Nash threw down the tag titles and said, what a pittance. After SmackDown this week, okay, it's not often, I admit to when I'm wrong, I have changed my mind. The ending of SmackDown, when Sammy and Kevin came together, I was weeping, dude. Wrestling hasn't hit me storyline-wise like that for a long time.
Yeah,
and now I'm 100% behind Sammy and Kevin taking those tag belts. It was beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, well, the whole storyline, 11 months now, we've all been following this story. 11 months, it's kept us all engrossed. 11 months, there's been twists, there's been turns. Jimmy, can you see a better way of this ending than Cody winning the title on the same night that Simon and Kevin take the tag titles away? And the Bloodline losing? As we have 20 minutes, mate. Go for it.
I'll keep it short. And if anybody wants a longer, detailed version of what I'm about to say, they could tune into the Positively Awesome Wrestling show tonight on my channel. I think, and I've discovered why I'm so different than a lot of people who think logically. I think with this, because I want to feel when I watch wrestling. Mm-hmm. So Cody isn't hitting me here. And that's my only gripe with Cody. And I think it's because I feel like he deserves a longer story. That's all it is. It's not a hate on Cody. Again, I was at the Rumble with the tattoo. I'll be at WrestleMania with the tattoo. I got Cody. I have no issue with Cody. I just think he needs a longer story, and I don't think he needs to hijack someone else's. And that's what's happened here.
God, I love the Drip King.
Yes. But, and this is not hate on Cody. This is not hate on Cody. And if he wins, I'll be there going crazy with everybody else. I'm not going to hate the moment. But at this moment, I think after watching Sammy and Jey Uso's promo on SmackDown, I believe now more than ever that Jey Uso should be the one that dethrones Roman Reigns, because Sammy told him, "You're mad that I did it. I did what you couldn't do first." So now Jey can watch what happens. He watched what happens. He learned from it. And when they lose the tag titles and Roman berates them and makes them feel like absolute shit, Jey turns on him. Jey will probably help Cody win. That's probably what will happen. But if it doesn't, and we get a summer of Jey Uso, and it's capped off by him beating Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, I'm going to feel that here a lot more than I'm going to feel Cody winning at WrestleMania. That's me, though. That's me.
Here's the thing.
I know you're going to feel differently, and that's
No, it's not that. I just have a simple question for you.
Okay.
couple of questions. Does Cody Rhodes dress like a champion?
Yeah.
Does he talk like a champion?
Hold on. Let me rephrase this. Let me go back on that. I think everybody dresses as a champion. Mick Foley was champion, and he wore a tore up button up and sweatpants. Man, there's no idea.
I'm just gonna. Does he talk like one? In
Vince McMahon's world, I'll speak. Yes.
Okay, well, they're still in Vince McMahon's world.
No,
as much as they are.
No,
he's still there, Jim. Right? He's never going anywhere.
Did Roman dress like a champion?
Yes.
No.
Have you seen him on TV? He wears suits. Whenever he's on a talk show, he dresses like a champ.
Jay can wear a suit on TV.
Could you not put Sammy in a suit?
Have you seen Sami Zayn ever wear a suit?
Yeah.
I have.
Do you not remember the Slammies, baby? He had that sparkly suit. That was beautiful. He had his hair slicked to the side. He looked gorgeous.
And my point is this. Cody Rhodes is the option that has been presented. Cody Rhodes was the original plan. Everybody has bagged on WWE for years for second-guessing themselves, doing flip-flop booking. Let me finish. Doing flip-flop booking and never sticking with what they planned. They finally stick with what they had planned. A minor hiccup comes up in Sami Zayn, and everybody loses their shit. They've stuck with the original plan.
It's a minor hiccup. Come on, Nick.
No, he's a minor hiccup.
How many times we've
just because somebody is popular and has the ability to win a championship does not mean they can be a credible champion.
So why is Cody a credible champion?
Because he's already proven he is a credible champion in AEW and in New Japan.
He wasn't a champion in AEW.
TNT.
Yeah. That don't count. He was an Intercontinental champion.
US and New Japan.
Come on,
US
man.
and New Japan. The simple fact is they've tried putting belts on Sami Zayn in the past, and it's never worked, regardless of the company he's been in.
Hold on, because Sammy, outside of Gunther, over the last probably like 7-8 years, Sammy was the best Intercontinental champion they had. He was gripping, I was captivated by what he did.
He did have the best ladder match that they've had.
Just to counteract your question is what was the question? Your statement about how we give WWE shit for deviating from, they don't stick to their guns. How many times we got mad at them because we saw someone rise to the ranks and they said no? How many times we get mad at that? Way more.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They didn't say no. They said yes. They gave him a title shot and Roman beat him anyway. Just like Roman's probably going to beat Cody.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, can you tell me?
He got his title shot. He got it in his hometown in Canada in the biggest fucking crowd he could have ever had it in front of, and he still lost.
And
it's not. Go on, sorry, Jim.
Yeah, if he won that, don't you think that moment stands the test of time through wrestling history? They will replay that forever.
Yeah,
we don't get that now.
Also, the other thing is, it's not just about Sammy getting his opportunity. Is no one believes in Cody at the moment, and I feel bad for him because you know what? I see him struggling.
Nobody believes in Cody, but I do.
I believe in Cody.
I believe Cody can win. I come across as I hate Cody, and that's not the case.
This is the same with me. It's not that I hate Cody, right? And it's not that I don't believe in Cody the wrestler, but I don't believe in this storyline, and I don't even think Cody believes in it. Because all he keeps going is, well, my dad's Dusty. My dad's Dusty. That's what
but he doesn't. He's never brought Dusty up. It's always the other guy.
That's by design. Come on.
Yeah.
It's all by design. It's professional wrestling, people. As much as we want to admit that it's not, Sami Zayn was by design.
Okay, question. I'll ask a question about this because it has to do with what I'm talking about here. When we saw The Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18, do you think the plan was for The Rock to turn heel in that match and Hogan to go over as a babyface? Do you think
no, of course it wasn't.
It wasn't. They deviated because of the reaction. And it became a monument. It's the greatest match in the history of wrestling, in my opinion, based on what happened. They deviated because of the crowd reaction. They don't do that anymore. And when they do, it's a very special moment. Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan. Those are special moments because they deviated from the plan and they allowed the fans to make something happen. And that was ripped from us this time. And that's why it hurts me so much. Yeah, but at the end of the day, if Cody wins at WrestleMania, I'm still going to go, woohoo, this is awesome.
And you know what? I'll be happy if Cody wins at Mania. I'll be happy in the sense of, okay, we can put that shit show to bed and move on with Cody now. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not Cody. This is not my problem. It's not Cody. It's just the whole thing is, what has Cody done to win that belt? Apart from come in at 27 at the Royal Rumble, he hasn't really done much. And, you know, it's been, he come in last WrestleMania, so he's got to go for the title now. I would have kept him well away from the title for a long time.
Simon?
I'll tell you exactly what he's done to deserve that belt. And, you know, I can tell you in like 4 words. Dusty Rhodes is his dad. No, right. I've got a theory about this match, right? So I think at this moment, as much as part of me wants to see Roman, you know, make 1,000 days and all that jazz, I think that Cody is taking the belt. And I think it's going to come down to numbers, okay? You've got Kevin and Sammy are going to, like, neutralize the Usos. Who does that leave in Roman's corner? Apart from the wise man, you've got Solo. Where is WrestleMania?
LA. Hollywood.
Well, Inglewood.
Cody's brother Goldust is synonymous with Hollywood. Goldust comes out, takes out Solo, Cody pins Roman.
That works.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Cody will want that anywhere near him because it's too near to Stardust.
Yeah. Goldust cameo, though, dude. Who's not going to pop for that?
I think we've got more chance of seeing Rodeo drive natural Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, right.
What's going on, Dale? By the way.
Hello, Dale.
Hey, Dale.
Good
What
to
up,
see
Dale?
you. Right, well, lads, now it is time for what I like to call the open floor section of the week. We've got about 10 minutes left before we've got to start going away. So is there anything anybody wants to pop in? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, just very quickly, I am absolutely made up at the fact that they have put the triple threats now official.
Yeah.
As well for Sheamus, Gunther and thing, and I think that's it's going to be a hell of a match.
A banger, absolute banger. They are going to beat the snot out of each other.
How did y'all like that brogue kick Claymore combo? That was beautiful. They went for it, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. It's exactly how I thought it was going to go down. It's exactly how it should have gone down. And now Gunther gets to beat both of them at WrestleMania. Because, Jesus Christ, he has to beat Honky's record. It's been around for too freaking long. Somebody has to beat Honky's record.
If Gunther keeps the belt, maybe because of some shenanigans from Ludwig and, the other dude.
Giovanni.
Thank you. Basically, what then? You've got a 3-on-2. And I've read a few people kind of theorizing about this on Twitter. What if Wade Barrett steps up, makes it 3-on-3? We have a 6-man tag over the next couple of weeks after Mania, and a Backlash. Wade Barrett challenges Gunther. Sell it.
That would be. Oh no, that would be awesome. But I don't think Wade.
I know you've got. And you've got an Englishman, an Irishman, and a Scottishman.
Hey!
All trying to take down a German. There's a joke there somewhere.
No. But apart from that, I think, sorry, go on, Jim.
You go ahead.
Go on, mate. I've already said one, so you go next.
Okay. So I'm gonna talk about someone's career trajectory. I'm gonna make it as quick as possible. I know we're closing on time, and I want you to tell me who I'm talking about. All right. Shows up as a babyface, the generational star, following his dad.
Dominic Mysterio.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
The crowd hates him, just hates him. He's green and he's just not that good. Like, they just hate him. So they turn him heel and they put him with a group. And then he goes on to be, he becomes one of the most popular things on the show. I'm going to stop right there and I want you to tell me who I'm talking about.
Dominic Mysterio.
The Rock.
Oh.
Now tell me this. Dom's story is that damn similar to The Rock's, isn't it?
Yeah. Except for the dad connection.
But still, he came in and they basically paraded him out there as The Rock's, his dad.
Yep.
This is so-and-so's.
Rocky Johnson stuff.
Yeah, there you go. It's escaping my head. I can't think of it. But.
Well, it's funny you should stick with that because what's the best way to put this? I've completely forgotten what I was going to talk about, boys. I think
the Rock was better in ring. I think it's probably the only thing.
Okay.
At the moment.
And to that, I will say, do you think Dom right now is as good in the ring as The Rock was when he debuted for WWE?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that
With
okay.
less
so
timing.
the Dom's first match that he ever had in front of anybody was that one with Seth Rollins. So he's just. I just want to make sure I wasn't crazy with this thought that I was having.
I think Tom's one of the biggest talents going. That's why it frustrates me when people mention the likes of Hook and stuff, and it's like none of them are on the level of Tom Mysterio.
No.
You know?
If you want to talk in the ring, sure, go ahead. That's fine. But I don't go by that. I go by character work and all other stuff. And Dom is killing.
That's what I mean. Everything.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you know, whenever it's like,
I want to run something by you boys, and I want to tell me what you think. They still have not announced Ray versus Dom for Mania. Ray keeps turning the match down.
Big man said it right.
Now, I think the way they are going to get to the match is by using the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The first time in ever, they're going to use the Hall of Fame as a storyline. Simon?
Big man said it first.
Yep.
We talked about this last week, didn't we? I can't remember anything that kind of uses something reality-based like that since when Lex Luger knocked out Bret Hart at the WrestleMania brunch in '93. It almost makes perfect sense. You know, just to have the whole storyline on TV has been about Ray going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Can I just say one more thing as well? After seeing SmackDown this week and seeing LA Knight get beat, I think we're on. No. I think we're on for the Stone Cold match.
Let him talk.
Because he lost that match. WWE have always got a thing of before they give you something great, a la Austin Theory, they smash you. And I believe that's what they're doing with LA Knight, and that's what I believe the Stone Cold match is done and dusted.
Do you think it's a match, or do you think it's LA Knight goes out, runs his mouth, Stone Cold comes out, we get the Stone Cold pop, he stuns him, he goes home, everyone goes home happy, and then after WrestleMania, LA Knight goes to Superstar. I think
I'd say that. Really.
Whatever they're doing something because WWE always do this before they pop someone up, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
I think it could be similar to what we saw with The Rock and Eric Rowan a few years ago.
There you go. But the one thing on the Dom Hall of Fame thing is, as soon as Ray got in the announcement that he was going to the Hall of Fame, I immediately had thoughts of when Kanye West crashed Taylor Swift's award ceremony, and Dom coming out to Ray and saying, "I'm gonna let you finish, but I got something to say." If he's going in any Hall of Fame, it should be the Deadbeat Dad Hall of Fame, blah, blah, blah. And then that's how the match is going to happen. And that's,
Can I just say as well, how refreshing, I mean, we've had a lot of, really cool, intelligent, knowledgeable wrestling presenters join us this past few weeks as guests. And can I just say how refreshing it is to have somebody who gets Dominic Mysterio as a guest on the show.
I joined the fan club. I know you're the president. I know you're the president's side, but I'm fully on board with Dom. I said on our show last week that we were talking about his ceiling, and I think logically speaking, I think it's not crazy to think that he could have a world title run in him in his career.
He's very young.
One world title run, I think, is logically like if he continues to progress.
He could have a multiple at his age now.
Yeah. But he's very young. There's a lot of opportunities for Dominic in the future.
As far as how much I love him right now, though, I want him a main event in WrestleMania. I think he has that in him. Yeah. I think coming out of this gimmick is going to be the biggest moment of his career. How does he transition from Prison Dom to his next iteration?
Okay, let me ask you this question, Jim. I'd be interested to see what your view on this is. Cody Rhodes, when he first come in and Dom, a lot of differences there, or what?
Wait, what was that?
When Cody Rhodes debuted in WWE, first ever time.
Yeah.
And Dom now, what would you say the differences are?
I think Dom, I don't know.
Think back and think of Cody back then.
No, it's a good comparison. It's a very good comparison.
I think Cody was ahead of him, but again, he also had that the training and the prior experience as opposed to Dom. Dom's first match again was like in a WWE ring on a pay-per-view for the world to watch. That's a lot of pressure, and he hasn't cracked. I think that's huge.
This is one thing I keep saying about Dom is there's only a select amount of talent that go and skip NXT and go straight to the main roster. You know, you've got guys like AJ Styles, you've got Ronda Rousey, and you've got Dominic Mysterio.
We all have crazy
I
thoughts.
think we
We're
should
allowed
just-
one. We're allowed one.
Just let that out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
so mad that I didn't get to watch it live because
Yeah.
the way they show it at the show, they don't show the entrance ramp on the TV. So I missed it. But then when I went back and watched it, I was like, that's so brilliant. Ray's
That's
injured.
right.
That's how you do that. That was brilliant.
No, it
Everything
was
they're
awesome.
doing with Dom is brilliant. It's so good.
Right. Anyway, lads, new little idea that I've just had. I want to go around the room and I want each of you to tell me what was the best thing that happened in wrestling this week. Andy,
4 pillars.
Jimmy,
Yeah, 4 pillars.
Simon.
Sammy and Kevin hugging it out.
Okay, and I'm going to go with the 4 pillars as well because I think it's about freaking time.
Yeah, and also I feel like the Kevin, as much as I love the Kevin and Sammy thing, it's an over spike through my heart of WWE messing everything up.
Oh, no, it didn't with me. I think it's perfect.
And if you want to know why I didn't pick that moment, again, tune into my show tonight on the Drip King Wrestling channel because I got a lot to say about that ending.
Well, Jimmy, we've got a couple. What?
Got this.
Hey, Kevin, good to see you.
Thanks for popping in, Big Sexy. Right, Jimmy, you're here. You've given us your time. Now I'm going to give you yours. Please plug away.
Drip King of Wrestling on YouTube. Go check it out. It's I got some stuff. I do a lot of shorts, so if you want some just quick entertainment, go check that out. Me and Tidy, we got a weekly podcast every Sunday night, Positively Awesome Wrestling, where we literally just talk about the things we love. We keep the negativity to a very bare minimum, if any at all. I'm about to start a new AEW show. It's coming up soon. I'm just working out the kinks on that. So if you want to know some AEW stuff, I got that coming up. And then also I do the Raw recap over at the WrestleTing channel. If you miss Monday and you want some very vibrant, energetic recaps, I'm your guy.
And I'm going to say it like I used to. He watches so you don't have to.
And that's not the case anymore, though. We all love it now. It's all good, baby. It's all good.
I know. That was an old school
Yeah,
one.
it's old.
Right, well, Jim, thank you very much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Lads, it's always good seeing you two. Thank you very much. Legionnaires, if you enjoy what we do here at the Legion, please join the Legion. Hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything we do in the future. It's free. It really helps us out. It's the only way the YouTube algorithm knows we exist. But in the meantime, I love you all. I've been Nick the Geek. That's been Andy. That's been Simon.
Wrestle Legion. We make it make sense.
And he's been the king. See you next week. If I can find the outro.